So I don't know about you guys, but I have been going hard on the TV show front. I feel like there have been a lot of good releases, and in a time where like you just don't people don't go to a theater as much. I still enjoy going to the theater, but at home streaming has like it's so convenient now.
Very true.
And I feel like the two that I have been watching that are very popular, we got Euphoria and we got Peacemaker. Are you guys on either of these?
Oh, hey, that's okay. I gotta bring up more shows because them were the two I'm like,
yes. On them, but yes. I'm not caught up, so I don't need any spoilers.
You're not on either of them?
I'm not caught up. I've been lagging back for like the last like 3 weeks.
But on either of them, like you're watching both?
Yeah. I'm watching. Yeah.
Okay.
Cantley, man, you are missing out. I will say. So here's what I'll say about Peacemaker.
Okay.
At first, I was like, it felt like, I mean, to the end, it felt classic James Gunn. But in the beginning, it was the way that like, oh, it's fun, it's smart, it's creative, but towards the end, like John Cena really won me over with his acting. Like he really grew on me.
I'm this is 100% like for sure.
Like and I mean the story is really good and I'm really excited for the second season. I'm glad that they have one coming because I definitely think there's more to explore with those characters and everything. But yeah, Kaylee, I think you're really gonna like it. The last episode just dropped this past Thursday, I believe.
Okay.
Yep. So I don't know how far you are in it, but it's really good all the way to the end. Yeah,
man. Yep, I got to get back on track with that and Euphoria. I feel I'm back like 3 episodes right now. Yeah, dang. I know. It was all the NFL playoffs and stuff, man.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of sports and stuff. That's why I was like, I feel like, especially how TV shows is dropping. Like, literally the past like 2 months have been like perfect. Like, I think this is gonna slowly turn into like where you would tune into a TV show at, just because. I mean, sports is slow, movies are slow. Like it's just the perfect time. But yeah, that John Cena. When I first was watching it, I was like, he's kind of funny in this. Like, which I'm like, I've always been I'm a wrestling fan, so like John Cena always been cool in my book.
Yeah.
But like the fact that I don't know, like him being a superhero is just like a interesting thing, and he's taking it to the full. Like a season 2 is exactly what we gonna need from this show.
Yeah,
I was always no. Go ahead, Cam.
I was just gonna say that is the perfect role for him of any superhero. Absolutely killed it as Peacemaker.
Yeah.
And my thing was always with John Cena. Like I've always been a humongous John Cena fan, but when I saw the show was coming out. And I was like, John Cena's like the main character. I was kind of like, okay, like I don't know how this is gonna look because but
I agree.
Yeah, the more I watched it, I was like, he's actually like not bad. I was like, this isn't the Marine. So I was like, the Marine was rough to get through, but I was a fan, so I watched it. But I was like, man, he's definitely grown a lot. So yeah, I mean, it's just cool to see a lot of these wrestlers and stuff who kind of have phased into.
Which they've always been actors in a sense. Yeah. Like I've seen somebody say something like wrestling ain't real. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the reason to not watch wrestling. And it's like they're entertainers. Like that's like every movie, every TV show. Like I don't understand what you expected. So the fact that there is these actors like John Cena, Batista, that I feel like this is their way of leveling up. Honestly, like wrestling like bottom tier acting. For them to take headlines in movies is a whole nother.
You kind of feel like The Rock is like leveled up though too, since he's been. I mean, because I wasn't like watching wrestling when he was like in his prime, so I don't really know how big he was. But like, it just seems like once he started doing like some movies, he just like hit another gear, and it was kind of like, okay, like I think of The Rock more with his movies than I do him as a wrestler.
He's a hell of a performer, like through and through. But I feel like when it comes to his like career as an actor, he's been kind of typecast, and I think that's worked against him.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, me personally, if I see an actor too much or I see somebody's name too much, that automatically is like you just getting thrown into movies at this point. Like, I don't know.
He's in so many like weird things, like Jumanji and then Black Adam. I'm like, I'm sure these movies are not like. Similar.
He probably like 80% of the budget. For those type of movies.
You guys ever see that movie he was in, like San Andreas or whatever? Did you ever watch that? What'd you think of that?
No.
The only reason I know about San Andreas is because it wasn't him that was the like greatest actor in that. I'm trying to think who it was. I can't remember
who else was in it. It was forever gone.
I'm looking it up. Oh, Alexandria, who's in White Lotus too. Alexandria.
Oh, the wife,
The journalist that's in White Lotus.
Yeah.
What's her name? Oh, Alexandra Daddario or something like that.
Yeah.
She has the real big blue eyes, Cantley.
Yeah.
She was low-key the winner of San Andreas or whatever that random movie was.
It was like that movie, and then what was the other movie that was like the big giant animals? It was Rampage? Oh. Did you ever watch the movie Rampage?
I did not watch it, but that was a movie where I was like, if The Rock, and I know this is like 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
maybe.
It was super like random. I was like, oh, okay. Like it was good. It was just random, but I was like, man, these movies feel similar.
Yeah, I'm cool on that. But I was about to say, I mean, so you've been watching Euphoria, right, Kaylee? Or you're like kind of in tune with it?
So I think I ended at the end of episode 4 because when episode 5 came out, that's when everybody online was like, Zendaya's gonna win awards for this performance, I still have yet to like go see what all the hype was about. I'm like 3 weeks late, but I want to go see what all the hype is about, man. Because I'm like, she really she poured it on, and I think episode 5 it was, but
I've been very like weird to recommend that show to. Have y'all been like that? I've been very weird to be like, you seen Euphoria?
Yeah, it's something you have to be very clear with. Like, it is phenomenal if you can handle it, because there are a lot of triggers everywhere you look. But I 100%. Like, if you can handle it, oh my god, like Zendaya has been that bitch. And it's just like, I mean, all of them are so good. And I honestly want to go back and I wish I had rewatched season 1 closer to season 2 coming out, because I feel like there's a lot of parallels that I might be missing, because it's just that kind of show. But the episode that is tonight airing is Lexi is putting on her play, and I am so excited. Shit. I'm so excited.
Yeah. For the play. Yep.
Is Fez gonna be in the play?
He might pull up though. He might pull up, but no, that's the writing has been interesting. I will say something one of my friends brought up about the writing in Euphoria is they tend to leave out characters, and some characters kind of get just not the credit they deserved, I guess, similar to how season 1 was, where it kind of seemed like in season 1, like every character kind of got their time to shine in a sense, which you really don't see that in a lot of shows. So like this show, I kind of feel like it went back to the traditional, like, no, this is the A character, this is the B character, like, and I feel like a lot of people are kind of like noticing that, which is an interesting topic to be like, nah, I want to see this, I want to see more of this character. Like, I feel like you don't hear that a lot for TV shows.
I think the other thing that kind of helps with that is just how like big and dramatic everything is. Like it draws attentions to the little nuances that like are for and against certain characters based on the type of person they are, the color of their skin, their one reason or another. Like it's really easy to point to that and be like, wait a minute, that's kind of fucked up, you know? Like so I feel like that's another thing about it too.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Zendaya has been that bitch, and like
she has.
I love that. Have you seen the interview where like the person asking her the question is like, is it hard for you like waking up in the morning and looking in the mirror and being like, man, these other bitches ain't even close. And Zendaya just cracked up.
That's funny. Hey, she can all. You know me. I'm still waiting on the next Dune. The next Dune she's about to take off on too. Well, so I'm like, she out here.
You'll be happy to know I was reading some article about how that's what she's going to be filming this year. So it's going to push Euphoria off. So that's the slot. Cool. That's what she'll be doing.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Hey, I'm gonna be tuned in.
I wanted to ask you real quick, have you guys watched any of that Kanye documentary?
I have not. I need to tune in. A lot of people are saying it's like it shows a lot about the music industry in the early 2000s.
For as much shit as this guy does today, going online and everything, it is so crazy to see how he started in the music. Nobody cared about this guy at all.
Which
it just, and I don't know if it's because he's like monumental now, but like this dude literally walked through the whole Rockefeller Records like office playing his music for everybody. And the line that we all know and love is about she couldn't afford a car, so she named her daughter Alexis. He said that to like 3 different people. They just looked at him like, So
Shut
like,
up.
but now it's so funny because like everybody hears that bar now and they're like, oh, like that is like one of the greatest, but nobody cared about this dude. So yeah, just to see like, you know, where he came from. And the way it ended is kind of like, you know, it kind of previews the next.
How many episodes is it?
There's only one out right now. They're gonna start doing it weekly. But the next episode stuff's about his car crash and all those kind of things.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it's just funny to see like guys like Pharrell and Jay-Z like early 2000s when they were like, you know, the guys. But still
making they time. I like documentaries. I'm a really big I like documentaries because of like people said like the Kanye one, it feels like you like time traveling in a sense. Like you see clips, you see old cars, like just stuff you're just not used to seeing today. So that's why I definitely mess with documentaries. So I'm gonna have to tune into that here soon.
I was just amazed by the fact the guy who filmed it, I think his name's like Cootie or something or whatever. The fact that he literally took so much time to film this guy that nobody cared about.
He a real one for that.
It's like 20 years worth of like footage. And I'm like, man, you literally like took such a big gamble on this and it's paid off for what it's been. So now it's been really good. But like you said, it's been, I think, it's really been insightful to see kind of how the music industry was, you know, 25 years ago.
20 years ago.
I mean, it's changed dramatically. And then seeing those scenes and like with his mom and stuff too. I mean, like it kind of makes you feel bad for him to some degree. It doesn't excuse all the stuff he does now, but just like seeing how close they were and stuff, it's like it's actually kind of sad. But I mean, she was reciting his lyrics to him, like, you know, it's just
his number one fan type stuff.
She really believed in him, so but yeah. Other than that, man, I haven't watched a ton of other stuff, man. So I got to get caught up with you guys, man.
Well, I got one more show that I brought it up a couple times. Is the Power universe that's on Stars?
Oh yeah.
How it's basically it just ended. It's like part 2 of the series, I guess. So like there's like. So basically, it's the main drug dealer story, and then it branches off into how one of the drug dealers grew up, and then another one branched off into the main drug dealer's son. So and they're combining characters. The writing has been like you got to relate something back to like season 1, episode 6, like and like basically like 6 years ago almost now, and they just started a new one with Tommy, which is kind of like the main drug dealer story was, I ain't gonna lie, like black people mainly. And this one with Tommy is like he grew up like Irish basically. And so he's like bringing in like he even brings it up in the show, like white privilege and all of that. Like I'm gonna use this to help y'all business basically. And like it's been an interesting like conversation to be like I would think that conversation does happen when you're talking about drug dealers and stuff. Like, obviously, people have different privileges in the game and stuff. So it's been interesting. And the reason why, like, I love it is because, like, how we have a Marvel universe, where a Marvel universe is you got this hero, you got this hero, you got this movie, part 2 of this movie, and you can still tie things back together. And to think it's being done in the sense of, like, street stuff, like, I just would have never expected a show or series to be like that.
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
But I was about to say, you definitely got to get him. The only thing every time I recommend it is that there's nothing else on streaming on Stars. Like you would literally just be paying to watch this series, and it's like that's the only downside to it. If it made it to other streaming services, or if it made it on TV maybe where like it shows every now and then, I think it would be a huge level up.